Provincial cuts are endangering hundreds of childcare spots here in Toronto. That's according to a new city staff report released this morning. And today, parents, childcare advocates and city councillors gathered here at City Hall, calling on the Ford government to reverse the cuts they say will be detrimental to families and kids in a city already too expensive for childcare.
We can't let a province treat its children and its childcare programs this way.
Another call at City Hall to stop the Ford government from cutting funding to critical programs, this time for kids.
We're here to raise the alarm because childcare is already unaffordable in our city, and because of Doug Ford's cuts, it's about to get worse.
Childcare funding that was previously 100% provincially funded will transition to an 80-20 provincial and municipal cost share starting next year. A newly released city staff report says this will result in a $15 million budget shortfall, putting 760 affordable childcare spots at risk.
This is devastating for families across Toronto.
The city already over capacity. Currently, more than 30,000 children use subsidies, and there are 17,000 others on the wait list. What is the average wait time there?
Well, I mean, I've heard from families that are on, say, 12 waiting lists to get on a childcare space, and they, only just manage to snag a space, before they have to go back to work. But some parents are staying home from work because they can't get a childcare space.
The report also noting the impact on childcare centres. The previous Liberal government had agreed to cover the cost of building and operating 49 new centres in Toronto, which would create space for 3,000 kids. Now, the province will no longer fund the operating dollars, meaning the city will have to pay an additional $35 million a year to keep centres open. But the province refutes those claims. Why did the province decide not to fund the operating costs for those centres?
Well, we've increased the overall operational budget to $461 million for this year.
Why is the city saying that you're cutting operational funding? Where's the truth here?
I'm not sure where that figure's coming from. If they're talking to the specific figures for next year, they haven't even been released yet because multi-year planning is continuing to take place.
What message can you give to parents who are looking at these press conferences and just tired of hearing, one government point fingers at another?
Yeah, and I can understand the frustration when you're looking at politics being politics. I'd say to the parents, the sky is not falling. Everything is fine. We're going to continue to work with our partners at the City of Toronto, and we're going to make sure we get this right.
Currently, there are 37,000 childcare spaces in Toronto, but the report projects another 40,000 are needed over the next 10 years.